Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Denise. Today I want to paint some samplers because I'm obsessed with those. And I have taped off a little piece of paper here in the 9x9 size because I don't know, that's the size I want to work in right now, I guess. And I've picked a color palette from the Color Cube Volume 2 because it helps me set a direction without getting super stressed about color right up front. Which I kind of need. I like all the colors and I like too many things and I get off track with color right in the beginning, and it's kind of, I'll call it color anxiety. Because that's where I would get stuck a lot of the times, in addition to looking at white blank paper. And I'm working the Masha's watercolors because with this larger set that I had gotten from her, it's fun to pull the colors out of there and do color challenges with that. So I have pulled out granite, and I've pulled out green gold, and I've pulled out shadow green dark and moody brown, which kind of fits right in there with this color palette 257 with all these browns and greens and a black, because I just feel like, wouldn't that be extra cool with some gold? So that's where I'm going. At least that's my intention. We'll see. So I could have done it in the 12 square format that we always do, but I thought I'm on a little kick here with this 9x9 size. So I'm just working on a piece of my Hana Mule 9x12 watercolor paper cold press, and I just cut 3 inches off the end, and then a very loosely painted, tape these down with some painter's tape. I got the 1/2 inch and the almost 1 inch there. And I don't get real exact. These are not perfect squares. They're a little bit off. I just kind of set my ruler at the end and then just go swoop, 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 swoop. And don't even try to get it perfect or exact. So if this is something that's going to be important to you, you might be a little more exact than I am. And I'm just using my 1/2 inch Princeton Neptune oval wash because I've decided I like the wonkiness of it with that fun little shape even better than like a round brush. So that's why you see me use it quite a bit. And I'm just going to go ahead and start laying color in here, and then we'll come back in and do some mark making. And then when we peel the tape, we'll just see like what kind of cool stuff did we get. And we could use like other interesting brush tools and stuff. Like I could get the fan brush out. I mean, this is all about experimenting with what you already have and the colors that you enjoy. I kind of did a blind pull with that color card. Ooh, there's the granite. Just to be like, what would I pull if I wasn't even looking today? And I thought, well, that's a very interesting color palette that you've never, ever, ever seen me use, because I would not have pulled that out to pull those colors myself. So, how fun is that? Something fun and different, and just kind of seeing where that can take us today. And as soon as I saw it, I just immediately thought, ooh, that would be pretty with some golds, or just some kind of, I don't know, just something different. Just see what we can get. And I'm kind of doing some different things in each square so that I'll have like some really super fun, interesting, hopefully, areas to come back and mark make. So we'll just see what we can get and how some of these will give us spaces for other stuff. Okay, I can already tell that this last one that we pulled, the shadow green dark, and I kind of saw it on the color card too. It's definitely going to be the one that I think I'm going to like the most out of this color palette, because it had some other colors in the granulation that I thought was really cool. So I'm kind of excited about this color. now I'm just going to come back in and kind of do some mark making and like creative, I don't know, we're going to see if we can get the colors to do a few tricks here. Okay, I like that first green and that last green. We'll say the two greens are probably going to be the favorite for me personally because they're amazing. And I'm really just trying to create some color delineations and give it some interest so that we come back later and mark make. There's all kinds of just crazy fun stuff going on that's going to give me some jumping off points for some points of interest, we hope. Ooh, look how fun this already looks. Okay, I'm pretty excited about some of these that what we've got going on. This is exactly in my mind what I'd kind of actually hoped. And then when we come back with our other work that we can do, oh, I'm very excited where we can go today. So I'm going to go ahead and get all my hopefully mark making in the watercolor done first. And then we'll let that dry. And then we'll come back and mark make. And I'm feeling so good about this one. Oh, this is fun. Okay, already feeling a good paint day. When you're sitting down and you're already feeling like pretty good about where it went in a color palette that you've never ever tried before. And out of all the ones that I have tried, and there are hundreds on my YouTube channel, so for me to be able to say there's still colors out there that I've never tried before together, it's kind of amazing to me. I surprise myself every time I come up with something new. Still so much to explore and discover. And I think we did it again. We've got something new to explore and discover that we haven't done yet. Which I love. Doesn't that look like little trees and a landscape? Alright. There's a lot of fun going on there. Let's kind of want to do some dotty things here. Hang on. Then we'll let that dry. Let's let this dry and I'll be right back. Alright, we are dry. And now, I think I'm going to pull out some different mark making stuff and do some mark making. So I've got Blackwing matte graphite pencil, which is kind of like the 14 pit matte graphite. I like them because these are very bold and vivid, like dark. They're really dark. And then I've also got acrylic markers. I've got Copic Acrea pens. I think I'm gonna pull out the Copic Acrea because I think we can get some good colors out of that. We got indigo blue, which would be good for that dark color. And of course I've got gold in here, so we'll pull the gold out. I've got silver also, but I really don't think, I mean, it could be a silver color palette with that gray in there. We could have that out. And then I got the gold, and then I just got a bag of colors here. Let's see, or any other one. What if there's like a pop of weird pink? Just leave it out there. Yeah, this is why I go ahead and sit down. Ooh, and maybe that. We're just gonna put them out. We're just gonna put them out there just in case they're like a pink. Because maybe, you know, I don't know, but maybe we need that little pop of something when we're done. Maybe not, but maybe so. So I've just got a little bag I keep those in. And let's just do some mark making. You know what else I need? I need from Joggles. Let me just get some of these others out. Okay, don't mess anything up here touching that. These itty bitty. I love the itty bitty ones. And you know, Joggles has reintroduced a lot of these colors, and I think she did that because I've been using them occasionally in my videos. And then I'm sure people have sent her emails saying, where are these? So she brought them back out. And I love that she did that. And I've got other little stencils in here. Let's just see. Are there any in here? You know, okay, so I'm gonna, oh, I do like this one. Let's pull that one out. And then, this is my Stencil Girl book. And then I also am thinking mini Punchinella. Punchinella is the sequin waste when they make sequins. Ooh, I like this little one though. And you find this a lot of times at the fabric store over in the ribbon area. You can find some Punchinella on Amazon sometimes. And you can find stencils that look exactly like that. But this is my favorite one, the original thing that I had. This is Stencil Girl S376 Shaw. And this is Joggles Itty Bitty Bumpy Ride and Itty Bitty Seeds. And because they have now reintroduced these little itty bitty ones, I'm gonna go and see what I need. I need some more because they're perfect for things like this. So now the last little bits are kind of dry that had not dried, and I'm just gonna start doing some fun mark making. Sharpen my pencil up a little bit. Yeah, so I don't have anything in particular, but I'm gonna now start just seeing like what can we create in here. And you know, a thing that you might do, let me go get them. Here we go. A thing that you might do, because I've now done so many of these and had so much fun with the color palettes and the experimenting, and this is the perfect way to test out supplies and use some of the supplies that are more precious and you don't want to waste them, but you want to figure out how to work with them, and so you can create little micro pieces of art with all your favorite things. You might come back later and use these as inspiration for mark making. So I'm going to set these up there so that when I get stuck in what I think I might want to do for marks, I'll have something to kind of refer to so that I get unstuck. And with this, now that I'm looking at some of these colors, this earth tones in the Toolie Art markers, look how good these look. Right up this alley of these colors. And so now that I've kind of remembered those, I'm gonna pull some of those out too. So even though I pulled a bunch of options out, I like to have options. Does not mean that we're going to use all those options. Ooh, that's a pretty color. But I want to be able to do some color on color things. I'm glad I thought of those. So these have a nice hard bullet point. They're very similar to the Posca pens. But I like these earth tones that you can get. It's an acrylic marker that the Posca pens don't really kind of go into these lovely earthy tones. Ooh, pretty, pretty, pretty. So I do like some of the colors that come out of these other brands. And you know, I link all my favorites under on my favorites page on my website, so I'll link that page under the video. And these will be in the Amazon links or on my Amazon storefront, either one of those, because I got these off of Amazon. And now I'm just kind of doing some tone on tone mark making in here, because I just think it'll be interesting as you look closer at the pieces. It'll be in those layers, and I like that. And these look like little landscapes from far away. Okay, that was fun. I like that one. Definitely thinking like, let's put some gold in here. then too, some of this is a little bit wet, so I might pull out my wood stick. It's a paint stick from the paint store that they give you with the 5-gallon buckets of paint, so you can mix up stuff, but you can use anything that you find handy. But I might pull this out so that as I'm moving around, I'm not smudging whatever I'm doing. And you know, as I'm doing these, I'm trying to think of like, how many different marks could I put in each one? And how can I make them different than maybe the marks I did before? Or how can I incorporate some of these other marks that maybe I have forgotten about? That's why I like to pull these back out and say like, okay, what have I not used in a while? And just see like how many different lovely mark making items can we do. And then this could be like your mark making reference guides also, your little samplers. And you know, I like to come back into some master studies that I've done, like Klimt. Gustav Klimt's mark making is phenomenal, and so I love looking at his paintings and saying, okay, what did I learn in the Klimt master study that I have now kind of like gotten away from or forgotten, or maybe I haven't used in a while. So then I start thinking for him, like the bean shape, the coffee bean shape that he's got in some of his little paintings. And so then I thought, ooh, you know, maybe I should go back to some of those. I like the little lines with the little triangles on them that are in some of his paintings. I like the all the swirly things that he does. And so I like to kind of do things like this to remind myself of things that I really loved in something like that I've studied, but then maybe have gotten away from or forgotten about, or it's just been a while and then I get stuck. And so then I go back into some of the projects that I created in that class and I get re-inspired to come back and add in lovely mark making details like that. And some of those classes that we do those studies in, and you can find all those classes on my website and Skillshare, they become like the new favorites and the things that we do. So I like doing studies like that that introduce me to things that I don't even think of. Like, I don't know, I like studying the old masters and seeing what came before us, and modern masters too. I just like studying like what other artists use and what they've figured out. And I kind of like the coffee bean shape, so I'm glad to work that kind of in here. Kind of forget about some of those when we haven't done anything in our art room for a while, so come make some samplers with me. Alright, so I like those. This was a fun. Okay, let's see. I'm going to come back to the gold. Let's do some other stuff and we'll come back to the gold. So I'm kind of feeling like maybe some of this green, but maybe in a different color. I actually like the, there's some that are like a teardrop shape. Well, let's stick with this. I'm going to stick with the Toolie Arts. Let's see if this lighter one will give me some contrast. If I put all the paint on here, I'm going to stick my hand in that. Let's get it where I do as little damage as possible. Ooh, look at that color. Okay, we like that color. This is, what is this? This is earth. This other one was also earth. Well, I guess I got two earth ones. Huh. Alright, well, it's earth twice, I guess. Oh, 26 and 27. Okay. So it is actually, I thought, damn, I got the same color, but okay, it's actually a tiny bit different. Whoa! Okay, even though I tested that out, I did not get neon green. I was not feeling neon green, which is kind of what that just looked like. And so, oh my goodness. Okay, that was crazy. That was not on my dance card for the color palette today. But you never know after we get the layers in there. Let me tell you, if you do it once and it was like a surprise, that was a surprise, go ahead and put it somewhere else, and that way it wasn't a mistake. So let's, that was definitely not on my dance card for what I was expecting. But it is kind of nice as you spread it out. So what? Let's just say that one was the surprise of the day. It was definitely brighter than I expected for the first little bit that we put on there. But let me tell you, by the time we get to this one right here, I'm kind of loving it. But I think it's because it's pulling the brightness of that other color. Alright, nothing like having a little surprise grab you right up front. But now that we worked it in, you know, kind of, it works. It works. That was not expected. Okay, let's do some graphite something. I feel like I want to do maybe some lines. I'm filling lines in my future here. Ooh, and I like them. I like them. And look at how bold that graphite is. Ooh, I love it. Alright, I'm feeling that. I love that. That's a good choice. Alright, let's just do some over here. This is the greatest pencil ever. The Blackwing Matte fave, like super fave. It is such a lovely, bold graphite color that really just adds to your piece because it is so bold. Love, love, love this one. Although you'll use it really fast because it's so bold that we just kind of go through the, I mean, I've been using this for a while though, so not really fast, but it's definitely the fastest you'll use a pencil because it's so bold, you just eat up that lid. Okay, so that was a good one. Kind of feeling like, do we want that surprise of pink? Like maybe there's some flowers hiding in the landscape out here. Ooh, that came out fast. And again, right on my thing where I'm gonna stick my hand on that, I bet. All right, trying to not have mishaps. Ooh, look at that color though. Man, look at this color. It's just gonna be, see, like real pretty. I love how fine the lines are. Well, maybe I'll put that where it won't stick my hand in it. I'm kind of feeling just the surprise, and I want it to be a tiny amount. Like I don't want to change the overall color palette, but I felt like I needed a color that is like, oh, wasn't expecting that, kind of in there. I think I would like it. Just for fun, just for giggles. Look at that, it's like little flowers in our landscape there. Isn't that just like a tiny bit of fun? It is. It is. I love it. Okay. Good job. Let's put some up here. Oh my goodness. Let me tell you, I'm going to be on an art making high today after I'm done with this. And it's like 100 degrees outside, but I'm going to go sit on my porch and swing on my swing, listening to a book with this sensation of wellness and goodness because I'm just feeling it. I just feel it. Maybe I just want a few of these kind of right here. Ooh, love that. Like this is kind of like my version of an exercise high, you know, they say, which, or a runner's high, which I can't say I've ever experienced because I'm not a runner, but they say you get like this high after you do stuff like running long distances, and then you're super tired, and then you get this new burst of high energy from the run. Okay, that right there, super pretty, just that tiny amount of detail right there. Yeah, I feel like this art high that I'm feeling, I feel like that's my version of that. If I were a runner, maybe I'd be getting a runner's high. Or I could just be crazy. Could just be a nut. Okay, I love this little bit of pink. Good choice. Just as a random, like, surprise. As you get closer and you're like, ooh, look at that delightful little whatever. Okay, that's fun. I love it. I love it. Feel it right here. Okay, I love those, like little areas of roses in our landscapey thing. I feel like now I want to get out my favorite gold. Any gold's fine. And we could get out, let's pull out this other gold instead today. I got the golden, these golden iridescents are really pretty golds. And I'm sure much easier to get. This is the iridescent gold deep fine, and they're just different shades of gold, but they're pretty metallic. They're good enough for especially like samplers if you don't want to use your Kuretake paste, if you've got any of that, or if you don't have access to it, or if you don't have it. This is my next choice for like a gold. And we'll go ahead, this one's a little more like a coppery gold, but that's okay. Got my ink blending brush, and I'm just kind of dabbing it off so that it's kind of not super wet. Oh yeah. Ooh, let's see, look at there. Okay, that's a good one. Look at that, with a pretty shimmer. Exactly what I wanted. Okay, so that's the gold of the day. Oh, this is exactly what I wanted. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I might not even use these others now that I'm like super happy with this gold. It doesn't have to be everywhere. I'm kind of strategically working it in. Maybe I want it like right here too. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Maybe right here. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, perfect. Ooh, I feel like I need to be right here along this garden path right here. Oh, yeah, that's pretty. Okay, I like that. I think I'm good with that. All right, yay, Punchinella for the win. Throw that in the water. I feel like I need like one more something. And maybe not in the gold, but where did I put all those stencils at? I've hid all the stencils I've hid from myself. Where did I just put them? Does anybody see where I laid them? What the heck? Where did I put these? Let me find them and I'll be, oh, there we go. I'm like, how did I lose those? Okay, so I'm kind of thinking like, what if, well, ooh, I love this one. Let's do Bumpy Ride. I don't know if this is one they brought back or not, but it is one of my favorite. So I'm kind of thinking that we could do this in, I don't know, like a darker color to kind of bring in a pretty contrast. And then I could come in with some white-ish, something maybe like possibly this dark green maybe. I don't know, are you feeling it? I don't know, am I feeling it? Let's see, it could be a mistake. Alright, I don't know, because some of the Bumpy Ride has looked really good when I've done it in gold. But I kind of, I don't know, be brave, just do it. Oh. Alright, let's do it over here where I know I'm not going to dislike it. And see. Oh, okay. Okay. That was okay. I like that. I like it where I stuck it. I don't think I'm going to like it everywhere, but I could like it right up here. Like as a... Ooh, good choice. I like that. Okay. Alright, do we feel it anywhere else, or does that kind of balance it for us? What do we think? Oh, maybe a little tiny bit right here? Is that what you were saying? Oh, good one. How about a little tiny bit right here? I know somebody was pointing there. If you weren't, then maybe you should have been. Alright, I feel kind of like right here. Oh, see, good one. Good job. Alright, maybe a tiny bit right here. Ooh, yeah. Okay. Definitely feeling good about this. I kind of feel like this one needs like a little contrasty somehow. Alright, we're gonna work a little tiny bit in there. Oh, see, that's what that needed. Oh, yeah. Okay, now I'm feeling pretty good about that. Alright. It was questionable, and in the end, that was a good choice. Okay, let's peel the tape and see what we got today. Because I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good about this. And this was like a super cool color palette, which, by the way, we did manage to stick to pretty darn close. I'm proud of that. And then, you know, you don't have to be done when you peel the tape. Maybe you need to get a look at it and then think, do I need anything else? I'll tell you though, usually I don't revisit art. Once I've moved on from that day, I paint for the joy of it. I don't paint for people to critique me. I don't paint for people to tell me that they didn't like it. I don't paint for people to say like, oh, you should have done this or you should have done that. I paint for the fun and enjoyment that I get out of this session of painting, and then I move on. I rarely revisit anything because it's about the joy that I get. I don't care if it's perfect. I don't care if there should have been something different. I don't care if everybody would have done something completely different than I did. Go do that at your own art table. If you've got something that you're like, ooh, we should have done this, go do that at your art table and then experiment with that in your creative practice. Check that out. Okay, I do feel like this right here could use a tiny bit of something, but like maybe a white dot. So even though I don't normally do some of this after we're done, let's go ahead and add a few white dots in here. What do you think about that? Because we basically added that dark green in, which is kind of like a black. Good choice. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna be on such a good little artist high today. Because after this, I'll go edit a video and I'll eat a good lunch and give the little puppies their little snackies. And then I'll sit on the porch, swinging and listening to a good book. And thinking, what a good day this is. Good paint days are always good rest of the days for me. Look at that. This is like the perfect little tiny touch that it needed on some of these. Just a fun little magical white dot. Ooh, look at those. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Look at how good this looks. Okay, we need some right here. We'll get there. Look at that, look at that. Oh my gosh, look at that. These are so lovely. I do feel like well, no, I don't want to. Okay, I feel like I'm there. Well, I feel like we're there. Okay, we're there. Look at how good these are. Oh my gosh. Let's just come a little closer. Admire some of the marks and the sparkle. They look like little landscapes, or maybe like from up above, like some gardening. We can look at it in different directions. This one kind of reminds me of a sunflower. This reminds me of flying over countries like England, where it's like a patchwork of different farm stuff. Oh, look at that. Oh my gosh. Let's just take a deep breath and be like, what a good paint day. I kind of like it this way. So this might be the way this one is. All right. I hope you had fun painting with me today, and I'll see you guys next time.